Alright guys, so we're going to do, today we're going to do circles and contacts, alright? So we've already done tangents to circle, external tangents to two circles, and internal tangents. So now we're going to try and put two circles in contact with each other. So it says here, circles in contact are when two circles are in contact with each other at one point, okay? So two circles are in contact externally when the circles share a point of contact. So one point of contact. If they were going through each other, you'd have 2 points of contact. So circles, we're talking about the ones that are just touching at one point of contact. One circle is completely outside the other circle, okay? So they don't interlock. So examples they've given us here are the balls in a pool table. So if you're looking down top of them, and if any of you have played pool, if someone racks them and the balls are not all in contact with each other, you'll notice you can slap the balls as hard as you can, and sometimes the balls go nowhere, and that's because they're not all in contact with each other. So when you're racking them, you're trying to get them all in contact with each other at one point. You're trying to squeeze them up so that they're just in contact at one point. Another example, if you want to do it yourself at home, is this bunch of coins here. So you've all these circles that are all in contact with 10, 20, 50, 2, 1. They're all circles and they're all touching each other at one point, alright? So we know what they kind of look like. You can think of another few examples around the place, but how do you draw it? So what we're going to do is, I want you to set up the sheet the same as I have, and we're going to set up, I'm going to just pop up this book. Okay, so I want you to set up this sheet, and I want you, so circles in contact is name and is the title, and then you've got your keywords. You're going to do external, circles in contact externally and internally, okay? So first one we're going to do is externally. So we've already spoken as well about a point of contact, so point of okay, so we've already spoken about point of contact as well, so we put that in. Okay, so I'm going to come down, what radius we go, radius 50, so I'm going to come down maybe come down 70, and I'm going to go in 70 from the top corner, alright? So down 70, in 70, there we go. I just darken this a bit, yeah. So down 70, in 70, and I'm going to draw a circle of radius 50 with that as its center. So down 70 in 70, and I'm going to put a radius of 50 on my compass. I'm going to draw that circle in there. Alright, there it is. A circle of radius 50. And I've done it in pen, so you're doing it in the page. Okay, I'll just label that. The colour pen here. And that, just to show you that it's over 50. Okay. Alright, so radius 50. Okay, down 70 and 70, radius 50. So what I'm going to do here is, or what I want to do, is I want to draw another circle in contact with it, exactly the way I'm talking about. So it can't be interlocking, it can't be not touching, it has to be exactly touching that circle. Okay, and where it's going to be is, it's the size of it is going to be 30 millimeters. Okay, so the size of the new circle is going to be 30 millimeter radius, and we'll put it somewhere down here. Okay, we'll put it out here somewhere. Okay, so let's think about what the way, like how am I going to figure this out? So if I think about it before I start drawing it, if I've got a circle here, I'm going to just draw it, and you don't have to do this, but I'll just draw a sketch of a circle. So if I've got a circle here, and I've got another circle outside it, do I have any information? So if I knew that was R50, and I knew that was R80, or sorry, R30. So how would I figure out where to draw that, or how to draw it? Okay, so if you think about it, the centre of this circle and the centre of this circle, if I drew a line between the two of them, the size of that line would be equal to the radius of this plus the radius of this. Because that's the radius of that, that's the radius of that. So that's R50 plus R30. So if I want to draw a circle of radius 30 outside that, the centre of it has to be 50 plus 30 away. Does that make sense? Right, so if I add the two of them, so if I go 50 plus 30, which is 80, and I put that size on my compass, so I put a radius of 80 on my compass, now out here I've got that arc going around there. At if I draw any line from the centre of that circle out to that arc, the distance there is going to be 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. Alright, so now I have an arc going around that is 30 millimeters away from the circumference of that circle. Okay, so I'm going to draw a line. I'm going to put the circle, I'm going to angle it out here. It's going to be 30 degrees away from the centre. Right, so I'm going to pick a point on it. So I'm going to draw a line 30 degrees like that. So now the circle is going to be situated 30 degrees. The two centres are going to be at a 30 degree angle to each other. So that means that the centre of the circle I want is there. And what size is the centre of the circle? Well, it's radius 30. So I put 30 on my compass like that. And I've drawn it correctly. If I draw a circle around like that, let's see now. There's the circle. Like the other one. I've got radius 50 and radius 30. Here and there. So now like that. That's 50. That's 30. And there's my arc of 80. So if I want to draw any circle externally to another circle, if I add the two radii, so I'll put that in our keywords as well. Someone sent me a message last night to ask me that I spelled it wrong. I hadn't. The plural of a radius is radii, 2 I's. Alright, so I add the two radii, okay, to get the external, to get the arc on the outside there, okay, and then I find my line from the centre. If I wanted to draw 30 degrees up that way, I'll extend that, and I can draw another one out here, 30 degrees like that. That's the centre of my, that's the centre of the circle. It's situated where the two centres are 30 degrees up there. And my 30 degree, or 30 millimeters, sorry. That's in there. And there's my circle in there. I'll just fit the page for me. Just fit the page for me. Okay. So there's my circle up there, and if I drew one down there, I can get any circle. So basically, it's like taking a ball and rolling it around. If I kept that where it was, if I roll that ball all the way around there, the centre of every single one of them, every single possible circle of radius 30 is going to be on that arc there, 80 millimeters away. Alright, and then I decide which is the circle I want. So that's there for an external, where circles are touching externally. Now, we've one more thing to do before we move on. So you always label, so I'll just put, if I join the two centres, where they cross through both circles, that there is my POC, and I call that, you know that from tangents, that's my point of contact. The same here, the point of contact between two circles that are touching externally, join the centres, and where they cross through, there is my POC. Alright, my point of contact. Alright, okay. So that's if they're touching externally, and we'll try and figure out now what happens if they're touching internally. So if there's, they've given some examples here. So for circles in contact internally, so we have here two circles are in contact internally when the circle shares a point of contact, one point of contact. So that's not crossing over, there's only one point of contact. And also, one circle is completely within the other circle. Okay, so it can't be going outside it. And when that circle, you could move that to the center, but it wouldn't follow the first rule. It has to have a point of contact with it. Alright, so you can see the examples here, these googly eyes that you can buy in pound shops or whatever. So you can see the circle inside the other circle here, and that'll be touching the bottom here at one point. The black circle will be touching the transparent circle at the bottom here at one point. Alright. And they've done the same here with some euro coins if you want to do it yourself. So you can see here one circle is completely within another circle and it shares one point of contact. Alright, so if we wanted to do something like that, how would we do it? So, I'm following the examples here now in the World Graphics books as well, lads, so you can have a look at that as well if you want to follow along there. So I'm going to draw a circle of radius 60. So I'm going to come up, I'll come up here 80 from the bottom. I'll come up 80 from the bottom, and I'll go in 80 as well. Alright, so up 80 and in 80. That there will be the centre of the circle, and we do it radius 60. Alright, so I'm going to get 60 on my compass here. So now we're doing it internally. Alright, so the last one is external. So circles touching externally, these are ones touching internally. Okay, so I'll draw my radius 60 circle in there like that. Okay, so let's pretend it's the googly eyes question, right? So you have, what you want to do is you want to draw the black part of the googly eye inside there, right? So you want it inside in that circle. So this is radius. I'll put a label on that for you. So I'm going to put this at, right, so I'm going to go radius 60 this time, okay? Now what I want to do is I want to put a circle of radius 24 inside that, okay? So we're going to put 24 inside that. So we won't put it at the bottom, we'll put it here, maybe that the googly eyes are looking up to the top right, right? So I want to put a circle in there, alright? So if we do a little sketch again like I did a while ago, if I drew, you don't have to do a sketch now, but if I drew that circle in there, alright? So we'll say that's radius 60, and what I'm looking for is a googly eye inside there, 24, right? So if I think about that, the centre of the circle here, and the centre of the circle here, if I join the two of them, there, if you think about it, if I zoom in, I can't zoom in. So the distance between the circumference of the big circle and the centre of the small circle is that distance there. And that distance is equal to 24, the radius of the circle. So the distance between the circumference of the circle to the centre of the small circle has to be 24 if it's touching off it. Okay? So I'm going to put the googly eye looking up at a 60-degree angle. So I'll draw a 60-degree angle straight through the centre of the circle up like that, right? And I'll get my radius of 24 on my compass. Like so. Sorry, I need to get in my 2H compass. So I get my radius 24, and I'll mark it in there like that. So that's a distance of 24 there. What's the radius of the circle I'm looking for? The radius of the circle I'm looking for is 24. So this fella, this smaller circle, should just touch the inside of the circle there like that. So now I got my circle touching internally. Okay? So I'll just mark in that distance there. I said that was 24. That's 24, there like that. So that distance is 24. So I have to come in the distance of the smaller radius from the circumference of the big radius to get the point of contact. So I'll label that. Come in that distance to get the centre of the smaller circle. Alright? So when that's done, we'll just label it, lads. So look, we'll come down 10 and 5, 10 and 5, then label that. And we'll come up 10 and 5 here. 10, 5. Up 10 and 5 from up there. Do it somewhere neatly, lads. You know yourselves. Get good labelling on it. And we'll put in circles. Touching externally and for the bottom one, I think this is going to be, so it's going to be circles touching internally. As neat as you can on it. Okay. So when the two of them are done, I want you to do, would you fit it into the sheet? Radius 75, what's going to be 75 plus 95, 180. You wouldn't. When you've got done, lads, I want you to flip over the sheet and I want you to do this question here, the decorative mirror. I want you to do this decorative mirror on the back of it, okay? So, a decorative mirror is shown below. The mirror contains a number of circles in contact externally. Reproduce the diagram to the given dimensions. Show the points of contact. So you can see here, lads, look, you have, you can start, throw it in the middle of the sheet if you want, a H circle of 55 and everything else revolves around that. So you can see here, you've an angle going up at 45 degrees, down 45, down to 45, up at 45. And you can see here, you've got a circle touching externally off another circle of radius 20. So how would I get, if I drew that line up at 45 and it extends past the circumference, what distance would the centre of that be away from the circumference? What distance will the centre of that be? So you'll get, so think about that, then draw your 4 external circles like that, and you'll have the centre of the smaller one as well. The centre of the smaller one is, well, if that's radius 55, what's the distance from there to there? You can see that's radius 65. The distance from there to there is 10, which is the same as that. So you'll be able to get your radius of that. So all the measurements are in there, lads. You should be able to draw external circles or circles in contact externally. Have a cut off that question as well, please.